2% in Leicester are considered to be living in poverty. Our social affairs correspondent, Rev Paul, reports.
You can see how hard they're being squeezed here in Bulwell when you come to the local market. From cut-price toys to cut-price clothes, they're even selling cheap school uniforms. This is part of Nottingham North. It's the East Midlands' poorest parliamentary constituency. And it's a place where 2 out of every 5 children live in households below the poverty line.
I have to make sacrifices on my food bills and things like that. I have to cut down on food and stuff to provide other things for them. Nappies, baby wipes, simple things. It's not even about toys.
Does it worry you making ends meet?
Yeah, it worries me a lot. It's really stressful.
People haven't got the money to be going to obviously Tesco, Sainsbury's and obviously all the high-end streets to buying all this other stuff as well. They haven't got the money.
When, as a nation, have we had to have food banks? That's got to be telling us something, surely. It's just, you know, crazy.
My mum only had threats in her purse. Yeah, and that's when you've got no money. You see all these young today, they've always got money.
I don't tend not to buy myself clothes and things, you know, I just let mine stay. I have to look after my clothes so that you can have these new ones, you know.
And we're hearing from parents and children day in, day out who say they can't afford the essentials like food, like, you know, decent coat in winter, like being able to afford the heating bills when we have a cold snap. I mean, that can't be right in 2012 and one of the richest countries in the world.
But this is a country where more people than ever are having to rely on food banks. Here at the Carpenter's Arms in Loughborough, demand's been increasing steadily this year.
Every quarter I review the names and see how many times the people have been and drop people off the list as well. So some people are obviously finding jobs or finding other places where they can get support, but we are having new people, and the number of new people exceeds the number of people dropping off.
We're promoting the credit union.
So now the Church of England's begun a campaign to help deal with debt, and Nottinghamshire's bishop's asking those of us with money to spare to lend it to a local credit union.
Some people are really desperate. They have serious levels of debt and serious levels of poverty. We're trying to help by putting more capital into the credit union that they can loan to those people at very low interest rates and avoid them getting into serious debt and having to go to loan sharks and payday loan people.
But there are winners as well as losers. This pawn shop's doing brisk business. It's been inundated with everything from watches to computer games from people who are desperate for cash. Rev Paul, East Midlands Today, Nottingham.
So what's been the political reaction to this report? Let's go over to Westminster now and our political editor, John Hess. Good evening, John.
Good evening, Anne and Dominic. The Save the Children report out today gives politicians a further warning about an increase in child poverty, but this report, produced by researchers at Loughborough University, goes one step further. It highlights Nottingham North among 10 parliamentary constituencies which has the highest level of child poverty in the UK. Well, the constituency's MP, Labour's Graham Allen, today resisted simply blaming the coalition government, but urged ministers instead to take a longer-term solution.
The long-term answer is to help people develop the social and emotional capability that they can go and do well at school, that they can hold down a job, and above all that they can then raise decent families of their own. We've got to get back towards a long-term proposal here rather than just chipping away at the edges, because that clearly, this report shows, has not been effective over the last 25 years.
Now, today in the House of Commons, the Prime Minister, David Cameron, was put very much on the spot about this Save the Children report. This was his response to a call and a criticism that more families are having to put up with what was called the indignity of having to rely on food banks.
Well, what we're doing is making sure that we target help on the poorest families in our country, which is what we've done through the tax credit system. But at the same time, I think we should praise all the voluntary and big society effort to help the poorest families in our country as well.
Now, with wholesale changes, Anna Dominic, next year to the benefits system, this Prime Minister and his government could be very much on the back foot and on the defensive when it comes to child poverty.
OK, John Hess in Westminster, thank you. You're watching East Midlands Today here on the BBC. Yeah.